Hey everybody, Dave here. This is a single video in my 15-part series for Let's Build in Blue Prism using Notepad++. I'm assuming that if this isn't part one, then you have seen the video prior to this. Let's get started. So we have completed the first part of our requirements, which is to make sure that whenever we run this process, only two tabs are open in the single instance Notepad, and then we've also set up an action that sets word wrap based upon whatever the input is. The next thing we'll do is to set up application modeler to handle the general tab in the preferences, in the settings for preferences here. Let's go and look at that before we start on it. Preferences. Okay, so we can already see we're going to have to click, just like we've done for view and window, or we'll have to click settings, then click preferences. Probably can use UI automation mode for that, just like it worked for the others. And then we'll watch for this to come up. And let's see, what else does it say? We need to set localization to English. It's always going to be English here, so I'm not sure if we really need to worry about setting that, but we could just do it just because. We need to set the rest of these settings to basically match exactly what they are right now, but if I were to deselect them and select other things to change the settings, so it'll go back and it'll return this screen to this state. So we'll just have to decide whether we want to split up the actions. Because the problem is, the more things you do on an action, the more complicated it is, the harder it is to troubleshoot. And it's better to build in smaller pieces. We might even just use Notepad's grouping. We could have like an action for localization, one for toolbar, one for document list panel. We probably wouldn't have a separate one here. We'll do one. For sure, we'll have one action I think we'll call on to set the general preferences. Yeah, I think we're going to have one action that sets each of these sets of preferences. And while I'm not actually going to do it for this series now, we're just going to do a couple of these for general and maybe new document, I think. And so it'll just set all of these preferences all at once. That means, though, that the action itself is going to be more complicated. But from what I can see, none of this stuff gets updated. So you know, there's nothing you click, none of these that you choose that enable or disable some of these other selections. So we might even be able to use like a write stage to write all these values all at once. So there might only be like one or two stages on the page for the action. So let's try that. Let's build the general action. Go new, set general settings. We'll need to navigate to there. So here's where, you know, it might be good for us to have like a navigate action, and then, but you know, maybe you give it an input argument for which thing it navigates to. Actually, preferences is going to be handle a lot. So we can navigate to preferences and then navigate from preferences. That'll be fine. That won't be too many, I think. Oops, not what I meant to do. So navigate to preferences, and then navigate from preferences. We'll go copy the logic off of the navigate to window list, and we'll just edit this. It'll be kind of similar. I think we'll have to click the same number of buttons. All right, we can probably just check for the main menu window button to exist. I think that'll be fine. If it can find any of these, the rest of them should be available. But I will change it. Let's go into application modeler and start building this out. We first want to navigate to it, so with the settings button here, so we have main menu, main menu, let's see here. Main menu buttons is what I'm going to call this. Button, let's see, copy, paste. I see it here. So this is what we just duplicated, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so it actually also duplicated the sub one, which is a UI automation one. Let's change the settings, and we're probably just going to have to respy this, I think. Let's choose attach. Application modeler for button settings. Let's just spy this over. Accessibility mode. Deselect these. Deselect default action. Yeah, I wanted to, because some of this is going to be different, like the keyboard shortcut. ID self doesn't make any sense. Here, we'll just do this. Change to wildcard and, all right, let's see. Highlight. All right, we found it. And we need to change the sub button to preferences. And we'll just highlight this again too. All right, so let's just go and choose, let's just do accessibility mode, see how that works on this. You probably saw that it didn't highlight for accessibility mode. When I went and clicked this, it didn't highlight preferences. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it was just going a little slow, but it still worked to spy it. So I'm going to go in here and just remove some of these that I know are less reliable and kind of pointless. Right, of course that's not going to work. So this is a sub button, it's a contextual menu. So this will only show up, or this will only work once settings has been clicked. Okay. And the other thing is we'll need to spy. We'll go ahead and do this whole window. Add child. Win32 mode. Looks good, whatever. I don't know that we need the class name. Good, 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 good. Let's name this window preferences. Click OK. And then let's make this work. So first we'll just use this. Actually, I guess we can use the settings button that we just made. View settings. Check exists true. And then if it doesn't, main menu, settings button exists. And if it doesn't, then we want this to say, we'll just name this settings button, and then settings button in main menu could not be found. Then we will click on the settings button. Then we'll click on the preferences button. Then we'll verify that the settings, verify that preferences window appears. Okay. And if it doesn't, then we'll need to preference window error, preferences window. Preferences window did not appear. And then we'll connect this into the end and let's test it. So missing link, right. just so we don't get some errors. All right, navigate to preferences. Settings button should be there. Click the button, click preferences, and preferences is now open. Now let's test those individually. Set next stage. Right, actually that's going to always exist. And then this preferences window, it's waiting for it to open, waiting for it to open. It opened, okay. Now let's navigate from the preferences window. It's going to be pretty simple. And we just need, it's kind of going to be similar to this. We have like a OK button or whatever. Let's add a child element. Win32 for the close button. Button close. Then highlight. Okay. And let's just go make this look like navigate from. I guess the only difference here though is we need this one. Preferences window. Actually, we don't need this either. Preferences window exists, and Windows error, window error, preferences window could not be found. And then afterward, oh, and then we'll click close. Click close button. Choose the close button, global mouse, click center, click OK. This to this. And then we want to verify that the preferences window disappears. And check exists equals false. And window error, preferences window did not disappear. This and this. Let's move everything to the middle. Okay, I think we have a testable set of actions. We can open and close that window, but I guess we can do a little more before we test it, or we can do a little more before we test it from the process. So the window exists, click close, and the window no longer exists. Now let me test this individually. It's looking for that window. I'm going to open it now. Okay, and it moved forward. Now let's set this preferences window should disappear. So let's hit step. It's waiting for it to disappear, and it's gone. Cool. So, I guess we can publish these now. Publish. So, created, tested, and published. Navigate to and from preferences actions. All right, thanks for watching this part of this 15-part series in Let's Build in Blue Prism, where we work with Notepad++. I'll see you next time.